Hello everyone. I know it's been a very long time, probably almost 2 months now. I actually had to remind myself what the last video was that I posted, because I really couldn't remember whether I posted a video after the bar, and I apologize that I didn't. I just, I took the bar and then I immediately went on my like 3-week vacation after the bar, and so it wasn't really that I didn't have time, I just didn't really want to do anything besides nothing. So yeah, this video is basically going to be catching you up. Well, first I'll tell you about how the bar went, and then I'm going to catch you up on what I've been doing since then, and then I'm going to tell you guys a little more about myself. I know I've kept some facts from you guys, just basically to maintain some privacy, but also because I wanted to be able to talk about my law school and various things without having to worry about it getting back to the people I go to school with or my professors or anything. So now that that's a little bit less of a worry, I thought that I could tell you a little bit more. And then also at the end of the video, I'm going to talk a little bit about where I'm going to go from here, because obviously the title of this series is Law School Diary and I'm not in law school anymore. But I do still want to make videos, and a lot of you have expressed interest in me still making videos, so I'm going to talk more about that at the end and welcome any suggestions, obviously, for moving forward. So before I go on to the bar exam, I wanted to say something about my last video, which was the day in the life video. It was really fun to make, and it was something different than what I've done, because obviously in most videos I'm just sitting here talking at you like this, and so you got to see a little bit more of my everyday life. But it was really funny. There were people who were commenting or sending me messages about my roommate, Josh. And someone in particular was like suggesting that Josh has a thing for me. And I was like, okay, that's pretty funny because my roommate's gay. So that's pretty doubtful. But the reason it was especially funny to me and Josh is because we've had this running joke throughout our friendship that, like, wouldn't it be funny if, like, he was just pretending to be gay this whole time? It would be like the most complicated, you know, setup for asking me out on a date ever. But obviously that's not true, it's just a joke. And it was just funny. This guy, this commenter, even after I said my roommate was gay, was like, oh no, he still wants to get with you. It's like, alright. Anyways, that was funny. And that was a fun video to make in general, so hopefully I can do more videos like that in the future. Alright, so moving on to the bar exam. It was July 24th to the 27th, I believe. I had a motel reservation in the city where I was taking the bar exam, and it was at a really cheap motel, which, you know, wasn't a big deal because it was like, we're only going to be sleeping there, we don't need somewhere that's like super fancy. Plus a lot of the places had either booked up or had raised their prices a lot because of the bar exam. So anyways, we get there, and the first night it was so loud. Like, half of the motel had been rented out by some like French foreign exchange program thing, and it was like the middle of the week. It was like a Monday when we checked in, and I was like, what are these people doing here? And in that city too, like, it's not even an exciting city. It was just weird. So they were really, really loud and ended up keeping us up most of the night. Like, they would knock on our door thinking that it was their friend's door, and it was really awful. So but we dealt with it, and in the morning I was running on just like pure adrenaline, so the fact that I hadn't gotten much sleep didn't really matter that much. Went to the first day of the exam, and it's in this huge hall. There's thousands of people. I mean, it's California, so a lot of people take the bar exam. And they have like, you know, these specific places for you to sit, and it was all just very formal and stuff. But I got to see everybody. You know, there were people I hadn't seen in a while because we'd all gone into our caves to study. And there was like the first 3 rows of the testing hall. I wasn't in the first 3 rows, but somehow they had forgotten to provide power to the first 3 rows. So everyone was freaking out, and basically the test proctors were like, sorry, we don't know what to do. We don't have any power. We'll try to get you power after lunch. Because they have 3 hours of testing in the morning, and then you take a lunch, and there's 3 hours in the afternoon. So the people in the front row were like, what? Seriously, that's the best you could do for us? Because the problem is when the testing software starts on your computer, you can't see your battery bar anymore. So you wouldn't know if it was about to just die, and then like you'd be in the middle of, you know, the exam. So everyone was really, really freaking out, and so people started like charging their computers to full, you know, before the exam started. So that sucked for those people. Again, I was lucky I wasn't in that. And then they ended up getting power for everyone after lunch. Okay, so back to the hotel story. So I told you that it was super loud the first night. So then we go back the second night, and I'm like, seriously, I'm going to punch anyone right in the mouth if they try to be loud tonight. And so I took like half a sleeping pill because I was just like really anxious and I just wanted to sleep. And then at like exactly 10 o'clock when I was, you know, closing my eyes to go to sleep, techno starts. And I don't know if I've talked about this before, but I hate techno in general. I don't like electronic music. It really like annoys me actually. And it especially annoys me when it's keeping me up. So anyways, techno starts and we go out and it's like there's like a banquet hall on our floor, which was weird because those are usually like on the first floor. And they were having like a dance, like a school dance. There was a DJ and everything. At 10 o'clock on a Tuesday, I was so irritated. And we talked to the front desk and they were like, oh, it's going to be done by 11, which was doubtful because it started at 10. So I was like, there's no way it's going to be done at 11. And again, like all these teenagers running up and down the hallway being super obnoxious. And finally, I was just like, I can't do it. Like, I don't even care if I have to put this on my credit card. We need to find somewhere else to stay right now. So I called a hotel that was right across the street from the bar exam, and as luck would have it, they had a cancellation. So they were like, as long as you get here before 11, we could fit you in. So we ended up having to pack up all our stuff. And again, I had taken a sleeping pill, so I was like kind of out of it. And we had to walk from one hotel to another hotel at like 11. Luckily, we got settled in and just went right to sleep. So the next morning, we go to the front desk and we were like, were there any cancellations for tonight? You know, because hopefully we could stay there for our last night. And they were like, no, unfortunately, we're completely booked tonight. So we're like, crap. We have to find a third hotel, like our third different hotel during the bar exam. So anyways, long story short, we ended up finding one that was like a few blocks away. But that is a story about how I stayed in 3 different hotels during the bar exam, and it was really stressful, but I feel like it's, the farther I get away from it, you know, it's a funny story to tell. So besides the hotel debacle, the exam itself was really exhausting. It's 6 hours of testing a day, and it's 3 hours, and 3 days. California has 3 days. So, it was just intense. It was so exhausting, and the lunches were really long. The lunches were like 2 hours, which I would have preferred to have only had like a 1 hour lunch and just like get the show on the road, you know? But 2 hour lunches, it was like enough time for you to get really anxious. And then like the afternoon on the second and third days, the afternoon testing sessions, I got really bad stomach aches. I think it was just anxiety. I might have said in a different video about how when I took the LSAT, I got bad stomach aches too, and I had to like get up and go into like the main area. They have like water and stuff out there for you, and I just like paced back and forth a little bit and was like, okay, Sean, just get it together, go in there, do it, you know. So obviously I finished, and I know you'll probably all ask how I think that I did, because a million people have asked that since then, you know, family members and friends, and I have no idea. I really don't. It feels like, well, first of all, it's really hard for me to even remember the test now, like the subjects or anything. But it was hard. It was obviously a really difficult test, so I feel like I can't say how I did. Luckily, there wasn't anything that I completely didn't know, you know, that I drew a blank on, so that is probably a good sign. But I don't find out until November 16th, so 2 months from today. Okay, so that's the bar exam. Moving on. So 2 days after the bar exam, we went to a beach house in San Diego, and it was really fun and beautiful, and it was fairly relaxing. The problem was I was still really anxious. It was just like residual anxiety from the bar exam, and I hadn't let it go yet, which is natural. I mean, it was like months of me studying and anticipating this exam. I don't think that it would just like turn off just because I took it. So that was kind of annoying that I couldn't relax as much as I wanted to. And then, so I was there for a week, and then I spent 2 weeks traveling around visiting family and friends. I was in Georgia, and that was actually the place where I feel like I was the most relaxed, probably because it's so far away from like my normal life. And so, yeah, I did all that, and in the meantime, I was kind of stressing because my job, what I thought was a firm offer for my job had become not so firm anymore, because they were basically saying, well, first they had said they were going to pay me salary. Like, not a big salary, but something. And I was like, okay, that's fine. I can start out with that, work up, whatever. And then they started talking about hourly. And I was like, okay, that kind of sucks, but as long as I'm working full-time, getting paid hourly doesn't really matter. And since I'm under 26, I can still stay on my parents' insurance, so, that part was okay too. And then, all of a sudden, like, while I was studying for the bar exam, they started saying, like, oh, well, we don't know if it's going to be full-time. It might just be as needed. And I was like, okay, well, that doesn't sound good. Obviously, I need to make my rent and bills and loans coming up. So I was starting to get really stressed about it. I talked to my boss on the phone, and he was like, we don't want to stop you from, like, looking around elsewhere, as if there's much to look around for, So that was just, like, something stressful that was hanging over me when I was on my bar trip, because I was, like, applying places, and I applied to like 25 jobs in like 2 weeks, and some of them were jobs that don't even require a law degree, because I was just like really desperate. I was like, I need to start making money so I can make my rent. And in the meantime, my old job wanted me to come back for 2 weeks when I got back from my bar trip, just to help out with a case that we had going on. And it was only supposed to be for 2 weeks, but I figured, 2 weeks of pay is better than nothing. So I got back from my bar trip and I started working. And that was 3.5 weeks ago, and I'm still there. And I've been working full-time, like 30 to 40 hours a week. And so I don't know, honestly, I don't know what to say about it, like where I am right now with them. We're moving offices soon, and they're like, they want me to go with them, which I feel like is a good sign. But I'm not, putting my eggs in one basket. I am still keeping an eye out for jobs, but the good thing is that I can be a little bit more picky now because I'm making money in the meantime. So that's nice. But that's actually what I'm going to talk about in the next video. I'm going to get a couple friends together, including my roommate and my friend Nick, because I wanted to show a perspective of, like, kind of different sort of situations job-wise. Like, my roommate Josh is still looking for something right now, so, he's had it really stressful. And then my friend Nick is working for a public defender's office, but he's working for free. So there's just this, like, spectrum, and then there's me, who is making money, but it's not like a guaranteed amount of money for the long run. So yeah, that's kind of an update. Along that same line about Josh, we're kind of like deciding whether we're going to stay in the apartment or not, because he doesn't have a job right now. And that's a bummer, because I really love this place and I don't want to move. It's such a great apartment, and this city can be really expensive, and I'm not saying that this apartment is cheap, but it's at least like an average amount. And if I tried to find a place on my own, it would just be crazy expensive. Like, 1-bedroom apartments are like $1,800 here, like at minimum. So I obviously could not afford that right now. Alright, so that I think brings us to present. I've just been working, and it's been so nice to get off work and not have anything to do. And the weekends are totally mine. That's really nice. Getting paychecks, that's also really nice. I pre-ordered the iPhone 5 on Friday. Probably not the most responsible decision ever, but I really want it, and it's going to be an early birthday present for myself. Now is the part of the series that I feel like a lot of you have been waiting for. I will talk about my law school. So a lot of you have kind of guessed, well, actually a surprisingly little amount of people have guessed where I go to school, but a lot of you have guessed that I live in San Francisco, which is true. I do. And I love this city so much. It's, I feel like it was made for me. I'm very socially liberal, so it's nice to live somewhere where people agree with that. And besides the weather, which I complain about it in videos all the time, besides the weather, this place is really great. I can get around anywhere on public transportation, and there's amazing food and bars. It's a really excellent place to live. Unfortunately, the legal market is kind of small, which makes it even harder to find a job, but again, I'm counting my blessings as far as having somewhere to work right now. That leaves only a few law schools, and I go to UC Hastings Law School. It's the first law school in California. It's connected to the UC system, the University of California system, but it doesn't have an undergrad. So that's why a lot of people haven't heard of it who aren't from California, because usually you hear of a school because of their undergrad, like, you know, football team or whatever. But we are just a law school. Also, another reason that I was really wary about announcing my law school is maybe a stupid reason. It was because I feel like people were going to judge me or something because it's not the highest ranked school. It's still a top tier school, or, you know, like at least top 2 tiers, but you know, it's not like Stanford, obviously. And the thing is, when I started here, we were like number 30 something, maybe even number 30, which is amazing, like 30 in the country. And then when I graduated, we were 44. We had gone down like 14 spots in 3 years, which was really unfortunate. It's a lot of reasons, but I feel like one of them might just be, you know, the job market. It's become more difficult to find jobs. They also base the rating on, I think, like the professors you have at your school, like what they've done, things like that. And the thing is, like, a lot of people who go to Hastings go out into the Bay Area to get jobs, and like I just said, the Bay Area is a smaller legal market, so there's less jobs. So our school isn't going to be as high ranked as far as getting their students jobs, as opposed to maybe a law school in LA would be, because the LA legal field is just way larger. So anyways, that's where I go to school. I really like the school too. I don't have much to complain about. It could have had a better entertainment law program, but I got to take at least like 5 or 6 classes on intellectual property, so that was good. And the school is like right in downtown, so it's right by everything, which is also really nice. And my undergraduate was UC Berkeley, which was the #1 college in California, or the first college in California, the first public school in California, and it's also the #1 public school in the country. And that was really nice. I moved from Southern California to Berkeley to go to college when I was 18, and I went there, and then I applied to law schools all throughout the country, and I got in. I thought I wanted to go to law school in New York City, because I'd always wanted to live in New York City. It just seemed like, you know, this really fancy young adult place to live. And then I got into a few schools, but I didn't get into any in New York City. So I chose Hastings for several reasons, but one of them was that it was nearby. Berkeley and San Francisco are like right by each other, so I wouldn't have to make a big move. And also because I wanted to work in California, so if I went to law school in a different state, I would be like developing connections over there that I might not be able to use when I moved back to California. So it was important to me to stay here. So then I didn't have to move very far, and so I've been in the Bay Area for 7 years now, so I kind of feel like, you know, it's my home, and I really like it, and I don't want to leave now. I never knew that San Francisco was this perfect for me, and I would maybe have never known unless I had actually moved here, you know. So yeah, there you go. All this mystery is gone now. That's where I went to school. And also, I'm going to tell you guys that you can add me on Twitter and Instagram if you would like, or add me on follow me? Yeah, whatever it is. You can follow me on either of those. Just to warn you, I don't really tweet a lot. I get like waves of it, you know, like sometimes I'll be really interested in it and I'll do like 4 tweets in a day, and then I won't at all. But I Instagram all the time, so you can go ahead and follow me on that if you want. I was going to give you guys my Instagram a while ago, but obviously that would have shown you where I live and go to school, and I wasn't quite ready to reveal that yet. So now that I have, you guys can follow me on that. Alright, so finally, I don't know where I'm going to go with this video series yet. Like I said, you guys have expressed interest in me continuing it, so I will. But obviously I'm not in law school anymore, so if you might have noticed, I changed the name to Diary of a Young Lawyer. I don't know if that's going to stick. If anyone has any other suggestions for a title, go ahead and throw them at me. And I don't know, maybe I'll just, you know, talk to you guys about what it's like starting off, my frustrations at work. I mean, I don't want to get too personal because I don't want it to come off as if I'm unappreciative or I'm, you know, talking shit on my coworkers or my bosses or anything like that. And obviously I can't get too detailed because I can't talk about clients, because that's attorney-client privilege. So, you know, maybe I will go a little bit more into my personal life and bring personal and work together for you guys. But please, please, please let me know if there's anything that you want me to talk about in more detail, even if it has to do with law school. Feels like it was a decade ago already, but I'll obviously give you advice if I can. Coming up in the next video, I am going to do that video about, I'm going to talk about the different perspectives of people who have just graduated from law school, whether it's someone who has a full-time job, someone who doesn't have a job, someone who's part-time, volunteering, whatever, to just give you guys a taste of what post-law school life is like right now in this economy. Alright, so hopefully you guys enjoyed the video, and check out my Twitter and Instagram in the down bar and follow me, and I'll talk to you guys soon.